All praise to the Most High, Ahiah, and to his son, Yahayasha, Messiah, Yadahaya. This is Brother Holly here with the first Spirit of Truth broadcast here on the Ahiah House channel, as well as the House of Ahiah channel on this set-apart Sabbath day. First and foremost, as always, I'd like to give all glory, honor, and praises to the great I am, he who is, was, is to come, the Almighty One, Yadahaya. And appropriate and proper recognition and praise to Yahayasha, his son, who gave himself for us that we might have life, and that life is in him, Yadahaya. Now, in this first broadcast, we're going to talk about something found in the book of Daniel, a book that the Constantine Christians often glean from, a book but they only pull out little snatches of verses here and there, and they never encouraged a careful reading of the entirety of the book. But did not the Messiah say, speaking to his Father, I've come in the volume of the book to do thy will, O Master? And Daniel chapter 9 in particular speaks of the time of the Messiah, speaks of his advent, speaks of why he came, whose sin he died for. And when we couple what is written in Daniel with what was written by the Apostle Saul in the epistles, we begin to be able to define once and for all and concretely, if I may say, that the us found in the epistles, where it says that Messiah died for our sins according to the scriptures. Now we know who that our is. We know who the us are that he redeemed. And when we have that understanding, when we have that knowledge, we begin to see concretely, and we'll talk about it a little bit, if not in this first broadcast, but definitely in the second, that even the term Gentiles has been defined for us in the prophets, so that when we read the New Testament, and especially the epistles of Saul, everywhere we read Gentiles, we know exactly who he was sent to and who he was talking about. And we're gonna break apart one of the simplistic arguments of Constantine Christianity on the nature of an identity of Cornelius in this broadcast. And I'm going to show you something that you've probably read over multiple times, but when you read it carefully and with precepting, you will begin to see the truth. All praises. We'll be reading from the Learned Paleo Hebrew Torah, Lashwan Fadash, Holy Tongue, YASHARAHLA Bible Scriptures. And yes, children, this one is falling apart, but it's hanging in there. Let's start reading Daniel chapter 9. Let's start reading at verse number 3. And I set my face unto Ahiah, to seek by prayer and supplication with fasting and sackcloth and ashes. Will you highlight? And I prayed, verse 4, Daniel 9:4. And I prayed unto Ahiah, my Ahiah, and made my confession and said, O Ahiah, the great and dreadful, Ayasha, keeping the covenant and mercy to them that love him and to them that keep his commandments. Will you highlight? Who is he keeping covenant with? Those that love him and keep his commandments. One of the breakdowns in the frailties, I should say, of tithe taking, pork chop eating, Sunday go to meeting, Constantine Christianity, the heretical teaching that it is you don't got to keep commandments no more. The Most High doesn't keep covenant with those who break his commandments. He keeps covenant with those who keep his commandments. Let's read it again. Daniel 9:4. This is why they don't want you reading it. And I prayed unto Ahiah, my Ahiah, and made my confession and said, O Ahiah, the great and the dreadful, Ahiah, the great and dreadful, Ahiah, keeping the covenant and mercy to them that love him and to them that keep his commandments. Verse 5, we have sinned and have committed iniquity and have done wickedly and have rebelled even by departing from thy precepts and from thy judgments. Will you highlight? How many times on these channels has Brother Holly encouraged you? Has Brother Holly instructed you? Has Brother Holly begged you to keep the Most High's laws, statutes, commandments, judgments, ordinances, and precepts? How many times have I begged you to walk in his way, word, and will, and obey his voice. But if you do all those things, what I just said, then you won't be transgressing the Torah. You won't be sinning against him. You'll be walking in a way that's pleasing unto him. And you'll get to experience that redemption and that salvation that only comes through faith in Yahshua Messiah. All praises. Because if you continue to fail to keep his precepts, to walk in his judgments, you're going to be in a place where Most High going to only have to deal with you one way. That's through perdition and destruction. For if we sin willfully after we receive knowledge of the truth, there remain no more sacrifice for sin. Only a fearful looking unto judgment, which shall punish the adversaries. All praises. Read it again. This is Daniel chapter 9, verse 5. We have sinned. Can we all say that, children? For all have sinned. Come on, preach. And have committed iniquity. Can we all not say all that? Yes, we can. And have done wickedly. Can we not all say that? Yes, we have. And have rebelled. This is one thing all YASHARAHLA has in common. Everything that Daniel's praying, we can pray right now because we've done it. We're all guilty. And Daniel's going to talk about the redemption in a moment and who that redemption is for. All praises. We're going to go into it. See, we have something that the heathens don't have. We had peace preached unto us. Let's see it. Daniel 9:5 again. We have sinned, we have committed iniquity, we have done wickedly, we have rebelled, even by departing from thy precepts and from thy judgments. Neither have we hearkened unto thy servants the prophets, which spake in your name to our kings, our princes, and our fathers, and all the people of the land. Will you highlight? Now we know who the prophets were sent to. They were sent to the kings of YASHARAHLA. They were sent to the princes of YASHARAHLA. They were sent to the priests of YASHARAHLA. And they were sent to the people of the land of YASHARAHLA. I'll read it again. Daniel 9:6. Neither have we hearkened unto thy servants the prophets, which spake in thy name to our kings, our princes, and our fathers, and to all the people of the land. O Ahiah, righteousness belongeth unto thee, but unto us confusion of faces, as it is this day to the men of Judah and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem and to all YASHARAHLA. Will you highlight? It's letting you know that it's just not for the house of Judah, what he's saying. It's just not for the inhabitants of Jerusalem, what he's saying, but it's for all YASHARAHLA. All YASHARAHLA has sinned and fallen short. All YASHARAHLA hasn't walked in the precepts. All YASHARAHLA resisted the truth. All YASHARAHLA walked their own way. All YASHARAHLA were like sheep gone astray. That all happened to all YASHARAHLA. All the 12 tribes are guilty. I'll read it again. Daniel 9:7. O Ahiah, righteousness belongs unto thee, but unto us. Who's the us? All YASHARAHLA. Confusion of faces as at this day to the men of Judah and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and unto all YASHARAHLA that are near and that are far off. Will you highlight? You've heard that term over and over again. All YASHARAHLA are the near. All YASHARAHLA are the far off, on whom these things apply. It's all YASHARAHLA who are the near. It is all YASHARAHLA that are the far off, to whom these things apply. Ain't talking about the near and near far for every people on the planet. Never was. It's not talking about the near and near far off in Isaiah. It's not definitely not talking about the near and near far off in the book of Ephesians, of every nation under heaven. No, it's talking about the near and near far off of a very peculiar and particular people. We're going to get it. I'll read it again. Daniel 9:7. O Ahiah, righteousness belongs unto thee, but unto us confusion of faces, as at this day to the men of Judah and to all the inhabitants of Jerusalem and to all YASHARAHLA that are near and that are far off, throughout all the countries whither thou hast driven them. This is making sure you understand. You got to be part of the people that the Most High spread about everywhere. It ain't to every country. It's to the people of YASHARAHLA that have been placed in every country. Because of their trespass, that they have trespassed against thee, will you highlight. Verse 8, O sovereign, O sovereign, to us belongs confusion of face, to our kings, to our princes, and to our fathers, because we have sinned against thee. To Ahiah, our Alahiah, belongs mercies and forgiveness, though we have rebelled against him. Verse 10, neither have we obeyed the voice of Ahiah, our Alahiah, to walk in his law, that he have set before us by the servants, the prophets. Was the law given to everybody? Or was the law only for the children of YASHARAHLA? According to the scripture, it was only given to the children of YASHARAHLA. These things weren't for everybody. The whole planet, a representative from the whole planet, didn't receive the law in the wilderness from the mouth of Moses. No, all YASHARAHLA did. I'll read it again. Daniel 9:10, neither have we obeyed the voice of Alahiah to walk in his Torah law, which he set before us by his servant the prophets. Yea, all YASHARAHLA have transgressed thy Torah law, even by departing, that they might not obey thy voice. Therefore the curse is poured upon us, and the oath that is written in the Torah law of Moses, the servant of Alahiah, because we have sinned against him. Will you highlight? We are under the curse of the law. All YASHARAHLA is under the curse of the law. So, only those who are under the curse of the law can be redeemed from under it. I'll say that again for clarity. I know where your mind went. You went to Galatians chapter 3. How Messiah has redeemed us. Now we know who the us are, now don't we? From the curse of the law. We read right here that all YASHARAHLA was under the curse because they refused to abide by Torah law that came from Moses. All of a sudden, right this moment, and we were going to talk about this in the second broadcast, I guess we're going to talk about it now, that all YASHARAHLA are the us that were redeemed by Messiah from under the curse of the law. All YASHARAHLA was under the curse of the law through transgression and sin. And all YASHARAHLA was redeemed by Messiah from under that curse of the law, according to the Apostle Saul when he was writing to the Galatians, to the people of Galatia. Wow. Now we knew who the us are that the Apostle Saul said. That Messiah redeemed us from the curse of the law. I'll read it again. Daniel 9, verse 9. To Ahiah, our Alahiah, belong mercies and forgiveness, though we have rebelled against him. Neither have we obeyed the voice, verse 10, of Ahiah, our Alahiah, to walk in his Torah law, which he set before us by his servants the prophets. Yea, all YASHARAHLA have transgressed thy Torah law, even by departing, that they might not obey thy voice. Therefore the curse is poured upon us, and the oath that is written in the Torah law of Moses, the servant of Alahiah, because we have sinned against him. And he has confirmed his words, which he spake against us and against our judges, that judged us, by bringing upon us a great evil. For under the whole heaven have not been done as has been done upon Jerusalem. Will you highlight? These other major cities or these other heathen nations ain't suffer like Jerusalem suffered. No, it was prophesied. Messiah said Jerusalem going to be trodden down by the Gentiles until the end, being trodden down today. Heathens running things over there right now on this day in 2024. Amazing. Amazing how true these things are. They're written thousands of years ago. Oh, I saw a report. This is a side, children. I saw a report today that the Jewish state, the northern portion of the Jewish state, are burning. Well, we read in Zephaniah a couple of months ago how the northern portions of the Jewish state were going to be set on fire. And Gaza's going to be desolate. Gaza's a desolation now. All these things that were written are coming to pass right before our very eyes. The truthfulness of this book that I'm reading from is coming to pass right before our very eyes. Who these things were written to is being proven. It's not supposition, it's straight proof. Comparing spiritual things, the written word, to spiritual things, the written word. Wow. I'll read it again. Daniel chapter 9, verse 9. To Allahah belongs mercies and forgiveness. Who he chose to have mercy on, he chose who to forgive. Though we have rebelled against him, neither have we obeyed the voice, verse 10, Daniel 9:10, neither have we obeyed the voice of Allahah to walk in his Torah law, which he has set before us by his servants the prophets. Verse 11 is key. Listen up again. Yea, all YASHARAHLA have transgressed thy Torah law, even by the pardon that they might not obey thy voice. So obeying the voice of Ahai is equal to, for all you math buffs out there, obeying the voice of Ahai is equal to keeping commandments. If you keep his commandments, you're obeying his voice. If you don't keep commandments, you're disobeying his voice. Daniel 9:11, again. Yea, all YASHARAHLA have transgressed thy Torah teachings, even by the pardon that they might not obey thy voice. Therefore the curse is poured upon us, and the oath that is written in the Torah law of Moses, the servant of Allah, we have sinned against him. And he hath confirmed his words, which he spake against us, and against our judges that judged us, by bringing upon us a great evil. For under the whole heaven have not been done as it has been done upon Jerusalem. As it is, verse 13, as it is written in the Torah law of Moses, all this evil is come upon us. Yet made we not our prayer before Allahah, that we might turn from our iniquities and understand the truth we are. Like I said, there's a lot here. But we're going to go back a little bit in Daniel 9 on the near and the afar. On who the near and the afar. We know who it is. We read it. And we read it also in Daniel 9. Chapter 8, glad you don't read on a regular basis. If you still under the guise of them liars that will be in pulpits tomorrow, those lawless liars, because they're lawless because they tell you not to keep the law. Those commandment breakers, those haters of Ahia, because those that love him keep his commandments, they tell you to break them. They're breaking them right now probably because they're out there seeking their own pleasure on the Sabbath. They're out there buying and selling on the Sabbath. They're working some of them on the Sabbath. So they're breaking his commandments right now. Not us. We're in our homes eating food we cooked yesterday, or food that doesn't require cooking. I eat a bowl of cereal for the rest of my life if it helps me obey the Sabbath, obey the law, to keep the Sabbath day holy, to keep it from cooking on it. I let a package sit out there all day to sundown if I get a delivery at my house on the Sabbath. I'm not bringing in or taking out a burden into my house or taking a burden out of my house on the Sabbath. That's against Torah. I'll leave it. Take trash out before sundown Friday and don't touch it again until sundown Saturday. Wow. That's obeying the commandments. Not them. So those liars would tell you, oh, you don't need to read this. That don't apply to you. We're going to see. We're going to see who the near and the far off are. Daniel chapter 9, verse 7 again. O Ahai, righteousness belong unto thee, but unto us confusion of faces, as it is this day, to the men of Judah, and to all the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and unto all YASHARAHLA that are near and are far off through all the countries, whether thou hast driven them because of their trespass, and they have trespassed against thee. So all YASHARAHLA are the near, when you combine it all. The children of Judah, the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and all the rest of YASHARAHLA that have been scattered to the countries because of transgression and sin. Though that includes all YASHARAHLA, that makes the ones that are in Judah, that makes the one in Jerusalem, the near, and the scattered of being there far off. What is the message to the near and the far off? Let's see it. Turn to Isaiah 57. Isaiah 57, let's start reading at verse 17. This is the message to the near and the far off. This is the message that the great apostle Saul, who the world English called Paul, was preaching. This is a message, we're going to see it clearly. This is a message that was preached at Cornelius' house by Peter, or keeper. Oh, praises. Isaiah 57, 17. Oh, 16. Let's start at 16. For I will not contend forever, neither will I be always wroth. Wow, we just read in Daniel 9 that to the Most High belong mercies and forgiveness. Did we not read that in Daniel chapter 9? We're in Isaiah 57, same thing being said of it. This is describing his nature. He's merciful. He offers forgiveness. Isaiah 57, 16, for I will not contend forever, neither will I be always wroth, for the spirit should fail before me, and the souls which I have made. For the iniquity of his covetousness I was wroth, and I smote him. I hid me, and was wroth, or mad. And he went on forwardly in the way of his heart. With your highlight. Once I just say, go do your own thing. I don't even care. I have seen his ways, and I will heal him. Highlight. Look, Most High know what you're doing. He know what I'm doing. He know what you're doing. He's seen your ways, child of Jacob, but he's going to heal you. He's going to heal you of your trespass and sin. He's going to heal you of your backslide. He's going to heal you of your rebellion. He's going to heal you, child. He's going to renew a right spirit in you. Praises. Woo! Isaiah 57, 17. For the iniquity of his covetousness I was wroth, or mad, and smote him. I hid me, and was wroth, and he went on forwardly in the way of his heart. I have seen his ways, and I will heal him, and I will lead him also, and restore comforts unto him, and to his mourners. Will you highlight? Verse 19, I create the fruit of the lips. I give you what to say. Peace, peace to him that is afar off, and to him that is near, saith Ahai, and I will heal him. Peace, peace, that's the message. Shalom, shalom to the near, and shalom, shalom to the afar off. Peace is the message. The gospel of peace is unto the near. Who are they? They are the children of the house of Judah and the inhabitants of Jerusalem. Who are the afar off? They are all YASHARAHLA that's been scattered because of transgression and sin. Oh, praises! That's who they are. Why do you say that, Brother Holly? That's what the scriptures say. It ain't Brother Holly's interpretation. I'm just reading. I just read that in Daniel chapter 9. I'm over here in Isaiah 57, seeing the same group of people being talked to and what the message is to them. They're going to be healed. They're going to be set free. Their mourners are going to be comforted. Yeah, the Most High was mad at you. Said so. But we read over in Daniel 9 that he's merciful, that he forgives transgression and sin. Over here, he's talking about how he's going to do it, through preaching peace to you. Come on. I'll read it again. Isaiah 57:19. I create the fruit of the lips. Peace, peace to him that is afar off, and to him that is near, saith I will heal him. But the wicked are like a troubled sea, when they cannot rest, whose waters cast up mire and dirt. There is no peace, saith my Alahiah, to the wicked. You got to turn to receive peace. You got to repent, child. You want peace. Isaiah 58:1. Cry loud, spare not. Lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgression, and the house of Jacob their sins. That's what I'm doing today, child. I'm showing you, child of Jacob. I'm showing you, YASHARAHLA, your transgressions and sins. I am showing you. It's because of your transgressions and sins you find yourself in the predicament we're in today. Because the sins of our forefathers and foremothers, and because of our own sins, we find ourselves in the predicament we find ourselves. But rest assured, be you near, be you far off, wherever you may be, the Most High got a message for you today. Peace, peace, he says unto you. Return unto him, he return unto you. Oh, praises. Let's go to Ephesians chapter 2. You all Hebrews, see, y'all spend all y'all time in the Old Testament. Yeah, whatever. Let's go to the New Testament. Let's go to your favorite apostle. Let's go to the apostle of the Gentiles. We're going to define again who the Gentiles are. That the apostle Saul, who the world ignorantly and continuously continues to call Paul. Ephesians chapter 2. Let's start reading in verse 11. Wherefore remember that ye being in time past Gentiles. I'm calling time out. I just said we're gonna talk about it in the next broadcast. If I wills it be so and I live, and his son Yahya tarry. But how can you stop being a Gentile? If Gentile is someone of another nation besides YASHARAHLA, how can you stop being Chinese, for example? What you believe doesn't make you or unmake who you are. Who you are is who you were born as. That's why people who celebrate this month, Pride Month, hopefully y'all understand that pride precedes fall. That's for all you Pride Monthers. This your Pride Month. Some of you believe that you can change who you are through belief or faith. You can't. Can a leopard change its spots or an Ethiopian his skin? It's an impossibility. A leopard can believe all he wants that he a tiger. But you know something? He gonna still have them spots. He can scrub and them spots gonna still be there. An Ethiopian can believe he a Chinaman. His eyes ain't gonna slant up, his hair ain't gonna straighten up, and his skin ain't gonna yellow up. Just because he believes something. You can't believe yourself away from who you are. That's an impossibility, child. So it's speaking of somebody who was in one status, Gentile being a state of being, not a nationality, because it can change. Let's read Ephesians chapter 2, verse 11. Wherefore remember that ye being in time past Gentiles in the flesh, is telling you how, in the flesh, who are called uncircumcision. So you're considered a Gentile, at least by the apostle Saul, if you're just uncircumcised. Ain't got nothing to do with your nationality. If you're uncircumcised, be it of the heart or in the flesh, but it's talking about in the flesh here, you're considered a Gentile. As soon as you get circumcised, though, you're not considered a Gentile anymore. Then it can be, this is true. In time past, you were a Gentile. In how? In the flesh, who are called uncircumcision by that which is called the circumcision in the flesh made with hands, or who've gone through the act of being circumcised. All that's in accordance with the covenant and the law. The circumcision of a male on the 8th day of his life is in accordance with the covenant of Abraham and the law of Moses. All praises. I'll read it again. Ephesians chapter 2, verse 11. Wherefore remember that ye being in time past Gentiles in the flesh, who are called uncircumcision by that which is called the circumcision in the flesh made with hands, that at that time you were without Messiah. Whoa. Just because you weren't clipped, you can't have Messiah. Yeah, according to Saul, according to your favorite apostle, the apostle of the Gentiles. Mm-hmm. If you're a Gentile according to the flesh, you ain't got Messiah. Wow. And at that time you were without Messiah, being aliens from the commonwealth of YASHARAHLA, and strangers from the covenant of promise. You were outside the covenant. Why? Because you were uncircumcised in your flesh. You don't have Messiah. You're cut off from the people. You can't live amongst us, you unclean thing. No, you gotta be clean. You gotta be cut. You can correct yourself. You can get it done. And let me help. None of us who weren't circumcised in accordance with the covenant or the law had anything to do with it. We're all 8 days old. I am blessed that my parents, my Hebrew parents, ensured I wasn't even named until the 8th day when they circumcised me. My parents, bless them both. They both passed on, bless them. Why? Because they made sure that on the 8th day of my life, I'll be circumcised to keep me in the covenant, to keep me in obedience. I couldn't do it for myself. They did it. Praises. So it ain't your fault if you weren't circumcised. If you weren't circumcised on the 8th day according to the covenant and to the law, it ain't your fault, brother. Brother, I'm talking to you brothers. It ain't your fault. You couldn't do this on your own. People who had control over you, your parents, they had, I can't blame you for it. All right, let's read it again. Ephesians chapter 2, verse 12. And at that time, you were without Messiah, being aliens from the commonwealth of YASHARAHLA, outside the country, and strangers from the covenant of promise, you've been estranged from it, having no hope. Woo! And without a higher in the world. But now in Messiah, Yahayasha, ye who were sometimes afar off are made nigh by the blood of Messiah. Who are the afar off? The ones who are outside of Jerusalem, outside of Judea, outside of the covenant, outside of the temple, outside of the priesthood, outside. The outsiders, the outcasts. The outcasts through geographical location and disobedience. The scattered because of sin and transgression. The idolaters. The ones that didn't have any hope. You're being brought back. Why? We're going to read it. You're being brought back. You're being redeemed. There's a message of redemption for you. Let's read it. Ephesians chapter 2, verse 13. But now in Messiah, Yahayasha, ye who were sometimes afar off are made near by the blood of Messiah. For he is our peace. Now we know who the our are, don't we? Let's go back to, hold your place. Let's go back to Isaiah 57, verse 19. Isaiah 57:19 through Isaiah 58:1. We're going to find out who us are, who the us are. We have peace, peace, peace. And we're going to find out who the us are. Isaiah 57:19. I create the fruit of the lips. Peace, peace to him that is afar off, and to him that is near, saith Ahai. I will heal him. But the wicked are like the troubled sea when it cannot rest, whose waters cast up mire and dirt. There is no peace, saith my Allahia. To the wicked, will you highlight? Cry aloud. Isaiah 58, verse 1. Cry aloud, spare not. Lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgression, and the house of Jacob their sins. We know from Daniel chapter 9, verse 7 through 11, that we became estranged, we became afar off because of transgression and sin. That's what got us scattered. And we see here in Ephesians chapter 2 that when you were a covenant breaker, when you were without Messiah, you had no hope. You were a Gentile according to the flesh. But you've been made now by the blood. You have been made now by the blood. Verse 14, feedback to Ephesians chapter 2, verse 14. For he is our peace. The peace of whom? Them who are sometimes afar off. He is our peace. Peace, peace been preached to the far off and the near. Those who are near heard the message first. Those that are far off are hearing it now through the Apostle Saul's ministry. Preach! But now, in Messiah, ye who are sometimes, this is Ephesians chapter 2, verse 13. But now in Messiah, ye who were sometimes afar off are made nigh by the blood of Messiah. For he is our peace, who have made both one. What two were made one? The house of YASHARAHLA, the house of Judah, made one. That is Ezekiel 37. You can read it for yourself. Take one stick for Ephraim, which is the stick of Joseph. Take another stick for Judah. Put them together, and the two sticks shall be one. The grafting in. When you put two sticks together, you graft them together. That's what it's called in botany, grafting in. When two separate sticks become one stick. Preach! For he is our peace. Ephesians 2:14. Who have made both one, and have broken down the middle wall of partition between us. All the cities, you can read it in Kings and Chronicles. All the cities of Judah had high walls built up to keep the children of YASHARAHLA out. Because they were enemies. They were enemies against one another. So the children of Judah, the house of Judah, built high walls on all their cities, to include Jerusalem, to keep the children of YASHARAHLA, or the northern kingdom, out. Wow. That wall's been broken down by Messiah. He made us all one people again. I read verse 14 again, Ephesians chapter 2, verse 14, 39 minutes. Thank you for your patience. For he is our peace, who have made both one, and have broken down the middle wall of partition between us, having abolished in his flesh the enmity. He abolished in his flesh the argument. The law of commandments contained in ordinances. There were ordinances that said, don't you dare deal with them. Don't you have nothing to do with them heathens. For to make in himself of twain or two one new man, so making peace. He made us one new man in him. so making peace. There's peace between us now. There's peace between the house of Judah and the house of YASHARAHLA. It's spoken of in Isaiah chapter 11. The one after it says, unto us a son is given. Ooh. You ain't never put this together. You learning today. Ephesians chapter 2 verse 15, having abolished in his flesh the enmity or the enemy, even the law of commandments contained in ordinances, for to make in himself of two one new man, so making peace, and that he might reconcile both who? Both houses, unto a high, in one body, by the cross, having slain the enmity thereby, and came and preached peace to you, which were afar off, and to them that are near will you highlight. One more verse and we done. I told you we were going to go over it. Acts chapter 10. Set the groundwork real quick. I know your time is running. Acts chapter 10, verse 34. Real quick, Peter was sent to Cornelius' house. He showed up when he received a good report of the people, of how obedient Cornelius was to the Most High's way. Then Peter opened his mouth, this is Acts chapter 10, verse 34, and said, of a truth, I perceive that Ahiah is no respecter of persons, but in every nation he that feareth him and worketh righteousness is accepted with him. The word. Now, most of the folk who come here to Acts chapter 34, especially you heathenistic, tithe-taking, pork-chop-eating, Sunday-go-to-meeting, constant Christian, you stop at verse 35. You say, oh, that's it. Yep. If you fear him and you work righteousness, you're accepted, no matter who you are. That ain't all he said now, is it? Let's read verse 36. The word which Ahiah sent unto the children of Jacob, preaching peace by Yahayasha Messiah. That word I say you know. Now we can close the book. That word, which word? The preaching of peace that came through Yahayasha Messiah. What was that word of peace? That the two houses will be reconciled together in one body. We just read it in Ephesians. That's the word of peace. That the near and the afar will be made now by the blood. That's the word of peace. Let's keep preaching. Acts chapter 10, verse 36 again. The word which Ahiah sent unto the children of Jacob, YASHARAHLA, preaching peace by Yahayasha Messiah. That word I say you know, which was published throughout all Judea, and began from Galilee after the baptism which John preached, how Ahiah anointed Yahayasha of Nazareth with the Ruach Kodashia and with power, who went about doing good and healing all that were oppressed with the devil, for Ahiah was with him. And we are witnesses of all things which he both did in the land of Yahayada and in Jerusalem, who they slew or killed and hung on a tree. Him Ahiah raised up the third day and showed him openly, preaching the gospel now. Not to all the people. Woo. Woo. So this gospel ain't for everybody. I'll read it again. Acts chapter 10, verse 39. Let's keep reading. And we are witnesses of all things which he both did in the land of Yahayada and in Jerusalem, whom they slew and hanged on a tree. Him Ahiah raised up the third day and showed him openly, not to all the people, but unto witnesses chosen before of Ahiah, even to us, who did eat and drink with him after he rose from the dead. And he commanded us to preach unto the people. Everybody or the people? And to testify that he is he which was ordained of Ahiah to be judge of the quick and the dead. To him give all the prophets witness that through his name, whosoever believes in him shall receive remission of sins. Now we close the book. I'm here to tell you today, through belief in him, you shall receive that mercy and that forgiveness that was promised in the book of Daniel in chapter 9, from a higher to the near and to a far off of the house of Jacob. All praise, all glory to the Most High, and to his Son, Yahweh Yasha, Messiah, Yada, Haya.